السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome, everybody. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. And let's go on Instagram as well. It's cold Saturday, guys. Cold Saturday. Got my heater next to me as well. And I got a radiator on. Freezing. So, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. The reason I was late, let me tell you why I was late. I was late because there was a Sufa conference where there was 4 speakers and they were all, mashallah, our graduates, and they delivered talks, mashallah, very beneficial talks, and I was, mashallah, proud of them as well. So it kind of went over time, so that's why I got a bit late. But anyway, I can't miss the live stream for you guys. Right, so Abu Safura, wa alaikum assalam, mashallah. Abu Safura, I hope you're well. May Allah give you shifa and give your daughters a shifa as well. How are they? Alaikum assalam, Kanda. I have a skin condition and putting my forehead on the floor during salah seems to cause the skin to flare up. I'm not exempt from letting my forehead touch the floor during salah. So if you find it difficult, you can touch your nose on the floor. According to Imam Hanifa rahim, that will be allowed. So if your condition is such that you find it very difficult to put your head on the floor, then yeah, that would be permissible for you to do. Or maybe you can put something on your forehead so that it doesn't touch the floor itself. That would be permissible. Irfan, wa alaikum assalam. I hope you're well. I'm very well. Thank you very much, my brother. Hope you're well, Irfan. And NS, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Yasin J, wa alaikum assalam. Long time, my brother Yasin. Omer, wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. Omer from Huds, Maulana. Hope you're well. Alhamdulillah. Huds is my second home. Allahu Akbar. How's Zainur? Is Zainur good? Yeah, inshallah, I need to make a trip. I've got holidays now. I'm thinking about maybe I'll come up north, do a little Bradford trip, Bradford, Huddersfield. Maybe we can meet up. Yeah, anyone else wants to meet up as well? Maybe we can do a little meet up in the next few days or a week or so. Muhammad Mullah, ahla wa sahla, alaikum assalam. Is the farewell tawaf necessary when leaving Makkah during Umrah, or is it only necessary for time of Hajj? Yeah, so it's only necessary in the time of Hajj. However, if a person does, is in the Umrah, it is highly recommended. There's ikhtilaf amongst the scholars about this, but it's highly recommended to perform the tawaf itself. MashaAllah, Maulana Haris, ahlan wa sahlan, wa alaikum assalam. Miss you too, Maulana, miss you too. Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you are keeping well. Inshallah, definitely. Maulana Haris, let me tell you, Maulana Haris, he used to come to my lessons of iftar all the way from London, mashallah, once a week, and that was a mission. May Allah accept his efforts, and that was something you got to give it to someone who comes from far away to learn knowledge. Alhamdulillah. And I hope you're well. I hope all your students over there are well as well. Yeah, so that's that, man. So what's the plan, Mullah? You going for Umrah? Student, wa alaikum assalam. The Prophet ﷺ said the most evil matters in religion are those that are newly invented. For every newly invented matter is an innovation. Every innovation is guidance, and every misguidance is in the hellfire. You're more than welcome, inshallah. We'll take you around the spots. Yes, find some nice places. Yeah, we're not gonna go Shimlas this time. We're gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, tell Zainur we're gonna find some other place. And I'm gonna get Sufyan as well. We're gonna go get Sufyan to go as well. Believing that the celebration of Mawlid is part of the religion is bid'ah. However, this is intangible. How can something intangible be in hellfire? How can something intangible be in the hellfire? Oh, you mean, okay, I see. So this is a way out. Like, it's how we say things in English. Like if a person says oppression is going to be in fire, oppression can't be in fire. What it means is that the acts of oppression are going to be in fire. The people who do those acts are going to be in fire. That's what it means. It's just what we call figurative speech. Is smoking pure cannabis which has not been laced halal? No. My friend says that a sativa heightens his senses, whereas indica is what makes him mellow. I don't know exactly much about cannabis, but anything that would affect the mental judgment of a person would not be permissible unless it's for medical purposes. Z is well, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan, give my salams. Give Z my salams. Exposing the aura in ihram necessitates dam, but I heard that also seeing accidentally the exposed aura when someone is in ihram necessitates dam. No, I haven't come across that in the Hanafi school. I added you on Instagram. Do you reply to our messages? I don't run my Instagram, so others run my Instagram for me. Alhamdulillah. So if you do have a message, you can email me. There's email at the bottom. I usually reply to my emails. Kazmataz wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, my brother. Welcome. And wallah, setting off in the early AMs next Saturday. Allahu Akbar. Make sure you make special du'as for us, yeah? Special du'as when you're there, man. Is watching football permissible? Yes, I wouldn't see a problem in it. Can you confirm whether it's permissible to buy and use mechanical keyboards that use gold contacts? Is this analogous to using a fountain pen with a golden nib? So according to Hanafis, basically using gold. So this is like a big discussion. This is about using gold. So the Hanafis basically say if you have a cup that's made from gold, you're not allowed to drink from it. You can dip your hands in it and take something out of it, but you can't use it for drinking purposes. Likewise, if you have, let's say, for example, a cup that has got bits of gold on it, as long as your mouth is not touching that part of the gold. And the same goes for touching something which is gold. So if you're touching something with it which is gold and you're using it, that would also not be permissible as well. However, using a pen, if it's got a nib, I wouldn't see a problem with that. Using a pen with a nib that's made from gold, so you can get some. I think the idea of using the gold nib is not for showing off. It's actually there's a purpose for it. So it's purposeful, just like you have gold inside of processors in the computer. And the Hanafis have also allowed having a ring that has a pin in the ring that's made from gold. So as long as the fingers don't touch whilst you're using it, then I wouldn't see like an issue with it. Allah Alam. If a man has long hair and is in ihram, can he use a hair tie? Is not yes. Can I pray Asr early if I am from Hanafi school? Yes. MashaAllah, nice hairline. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. My hair is greasy at the moment, as you can see. Yeah, I've been wearing my woolly hat. How long can Sajda Tilawa be delayed before one is sinful? So basically, what the Hanafis say is 3 ayahs. It shouldn't go beyond duration of 3 ayahs. Can one combine sujood tilawa? Can one combine them? Obviously, if a person recites it outside of salat, and they've read the same one, yes. But if there's different ones you've recited, then no. I actually did a video on this in my Kuduri. If you check that out, I've done it on sujood tilawa and I mentioned it there. Is it true that flowers that have been planted on a grave pray for the deceased? There's some ikhtilaf for the ulama on this issue. Some narrations seem to indicate yes. Some narrations seem to indicate that was only for the Prophet ﷺ. The Rock family are in my special du'as. Be sure to keep me in yours, inshallah. Definitely will, my brother Mullah. Does the Alimiya course as so far train students on all 4 madhabs? So training on all 4 is going to take you at least 10 to 15 years, like without exaggeration. If you want to get trained in all 4 madhabs, you're going to have to dedicate 10 to 15 years. So that's why alim courses don't have that much time to train them in all the masail of all 4 madhabs. You specialize in one madhab and you dip into other madhabs, right? So when people say they know all 4 madhabs, either they're telling the truth or they're not. If they're telling the truth, they've probably been studying the 4 madhabs for years, like decades, because it's very difficult to master one madhab and then try and master 4 madhabs. If one is studying Hidayat al-Nahu, what book should one practice to improve Arabic ibara? Storybooks. So kid storybooks. So try to get yourself some kid storybooks. Let me show you one. 36. Right, so this is a good one. Right, so these are someone, mashallah, they put them up on my social media. 36 Arabic story books. This is a good one, Sabah. If someone works as a photographer at weddings, making weddings, videos of men and women, what is the ruling on that? Allah knows best. I mean, obviously, if they are going to be looking at women's bodies and all of that, then it wouldn't be permissible. Allah knows. I mean, I would say it's best to avoid these kind because usually in weddings, women are more exposed than men, and that would become, that wouldn't be the best thing for a person to do because they're going to be looking at parts of a woman's body they're not supposed to be looking at, and with the camera, you're going to be looking at in detail. If they're covered up relatively modestly, then yeah. If an imam needs to sit down for prayers, can he still lead? If he can't do sajda on the ground, no. We have reached Surah Al-Rahman Tafsir program I'm on, so I rewatched some of your Surah Rahman videos. Some real gems dropped in there. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Excellent, excellent. I need to start another surah, Another surah needs to come up. When joining Salah with Jatan, I don't know what that is. When Imam is in at-tahiyyat position, would I join and read? Yes. You also mentioned that you would want them do a video on incentives, motivation from the Quran. Yeah, actually, no, I haven't. I actually need to write that down. So, videos on incentives from the Quran. So, Jazakallah reminding me. Is it allowed to work as a waiter if it is involved serving alcohol sometimes? Serving alcohol is not permissible. Yeah, so you can work as a waiter, but serving alcohol would not be permitted. Yeah, that would not be allowed. Zed, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi sange chalde khayama zamarur tu sange tabiyatunu dikhadi Huddersfield sange chalde sakigi alta nan sabah mosam sange de Muhammad Kamal alaikum assalam ahlan wa sahlan Adil, is it allowed to take testosterone boosters for your body to look big? I don't ask your doctor. Allah knows. If the doctor says it's going to harm your body, no. Also, should I complete Thana at the beginning when the Imam starts Fatiha? No. So as soon as the Imam starts Fatiha, you stop reciting. So keyboard should be fine. They're under the keycaps metal. Yeah, as long as your fingers don't touch them. Yeah, that's fine. What are your goals in terms of writing or writing a book? I've got loads of goals. It's just one of the main goals is to complete all the videos on my YouTube channel before I die, and probably complete my Evolution of Fiqh book, complete my Nahu book, complete the Muslim on Mars book. Yeah, loads. What's your goals, Yusuf? You're welcome, Sabah. A priori, some lotions for very dry skin are titled without perfume, but they still have somewhat of a scent. Would it be allowed to use lotions in ihram? Yeah, as long as that smell is not. So if they're saying that they haven't put the perfume into it, it's just a byproduct, then it's okay. But if they've deliberately put like a scent in there, then no. So if it's like something like, I don't know, you use some sort of a detergent or something which like domestos and it has that smell with it. So just to confirm that I normally pray the later Asr time at home, but at college sometimes I have time to pray at the early Asr time. Am I allowed to pray? If it's for no reason, then you should not pray in the early time. But if it is for a valid reason, then yes. Zainab alaikum assalam wa barakatuhu. Salam, ahlan wa sahlan. Have you heard of the Wahid brothers at Miftah Institute in the US? I've heard of their names, yes. I don't know them personally. Have you covered tafsir of Surah Yusuf? I've covered the basic tafsir. If you go to my playlist, you'll find some, like years ago I did some basic tafsir, yeah. Der yakhni de, der yakhni, bilkul, daldam, mosam der yakhde. Muhammad Mullah, I can't wait for the publication of Martian Muslims, inshallah, inshallah. I think, you know what I need to do? When I write it, I need to kind of just take out time, just just write everything out as much as I can, and then fill in the details that later on. I think that's going to be the best way for me to write it. Otherwise, I'm never going to complete it. Or maybe if I have like a group of people that I consolidate with and discuss it with, and then someone writes it. Do students of Sufa get to choose which madhab they specialize in? No. So we specialize in the Hanafi school, Hanafi madhab. Is it better to read Quran in the Indo-Pak or Uthmani script? Either is, they're both fine. Whichever one is easier for you. Whichever one is fine. So Uthmani script, basically, what you mean by Uthmani script is the Arabs, basically Taha Uthman, who was a famous scribe, is still alive in Saudi, and he's the one that has a lot of the prints of the Quran on his print. When you say Uthmani, the classical, all Qurans are on Uthmani script, Uthman radiallahu anh script. So when you say Uthmani, what you really mean is Taha Uthman. Okay, so to a lot of people get this confused. When they say the Quran has been preserved in the Uthmani script, they mean Uthman radiallahu anhu when he got the prints of the Quran done. But the modern day Saudi print is the Taha Uthman. Right. Alaikum assalam, Harun. Would backbiting be considered an open sin if you publicly say something bad about someone? Would backbiting be considered an open sin if you publicly say something? Yes, it would be. Am I allowed to take Imodium diarrhea tablets? They contain ethanol. Is allowed? Should be. I mean, the ethanol should only be there for like byproduct. I'm not too sure about but if that's the case, then it should be fine. Inshallah, you're producing these videos and potentially be here forever, creating a legacy also. I mean, inshallah. Also, do you know anything about Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, teacher Imam Hanifa? I don't know much about him, no. Mufti Sahib, is this how Pashto sounds, or do you speak it with the accent because you were brought up here? Pashto's got many accents. Pashto is one of those languages that has so many accents. I mean, I think Urdu probably has about 3 or 4 accents that I can recognize, but Pashto has many accents. There's even different pronunciations of words, and so I don't know. I don't know what my Pashto is, what accent my Pashto follows. Can't I have no goals as I'm literally layman? I'm still reading, going through Salah of Rasulullah. Ahsan. It's a good thing, that is. Should check out Bison Steakhouse in Leeds if you come up. Excellent. We'll go there next year, bro. Get ready. Yeah. Me, you. I might even get Maji. Maji, if you're watching, get ready. Adil, about the early time at college, would fear of breaking wudu during lesson be a valid reason? Possibly. I have a Somali colleague who follows the Shafi madhab and he would like to get into Alimiya course. Which institution focus on Shafi? I think there's one opened up in Blackburn. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. Maybe Mullah can help us. I think it's probably the first Shafi Alimiya course. The first Shafi Alimiya course in Blackburn. Yeah, so first Shafi Alimiya course in Blackburn. I can't remember what it's called. Actually, let me just have a check. Shafi Alimiya course. Blackburn. I think it's called Bayt Muhammad. Yeah, I think it's called Bayt Muhammad. I'm not 100% sure, but you can check that out in Blackburn. Hamim Shah, Ahlan wa sahlan. Can we read du'as when doing wudu in the bathroom if the toilet is in the same room? As long as the toilet's clean and there's no impurities in there, I wouldn't see a problem. Is it permissible for a woman to travel for Hajj and Umrah without a mahram? This should be avoided. But if there is a large group, then possibly. It's a large group that will obviously take care of her and anything that happens. Also, is it permissible to keep a chameleon as a pet? I mean, technically, these kind of animals that don't really have any purpose or anything, these kind of animals should not be kept as a pet. But I mean, why do people keep chameleons? What's the purpose for it? Okay, next. Uh, make dua, inshallah. I really want to be like you, or at least make my children hufaz, ulama, and muftis. May Allah make them much better than me. Yeah, may Allah forgive our sins. Adil, I am very sorry that I wrote that as a joke to the person next to me and it sent through. I'm not sure what you wrote. I don't realize what you wrote. Okay, I didn't. Okay, anyway. Yeah, is it permissible to read fantasy books? Yes. As long as there isn't anything which is like, like pornographic or anything like that in there. Salam, we are taught to not overeat as this is against the practice of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What if a person who starts gym in order to gain muscle mass as has to eat? Yeah, so there isn't any sin in eating a lot as long as it doesn't cause you harm. So if it's going to cause you harm, then it's considered to be impermissible to eat. Yeah, so if you're going to eat excess and it's going to cause you physical harm, then no. So dogs should only be kept for guard dogs. Uh, you know, for if a person's scared as well, keeping it for fear, keeping it for shepherd, keeping it even for like blind people that keep dogs. Nowadays, dogs are even kept to detect diabetes in babies. So dogs can actually sniff diabetes, and I was reading an article about this. So if you actually Google it, dogs being used in the medical field, you'll find so many uses of it. So as long as there is a functional usage for the dog, then you can keep it. Sheikh, please can you share with us some spiritual advice? Some spiritual advice, I would say, every single day, do istighfar to Allah. Very, very important that you get in the habit of realizing your mistakes, understanding where you're going wrong in life, and making an intention of improving yourself every single day. Very, very important. I mean, if you kind of think about self-development courses that they do in the West nowadays, a lot of it is based upon Islamic concepts like istighfar, yeah, intention, niyyah. Istighfar is very important. Istighfar humbles a person. It makes a person realize they're human, they're not perfect, they make mistakes. I'll definitely say that. In Sharia law, do governments or Muslim countries have the right to punish those who do not wear hijab, such as what? Possibly. There's nothing fixed in the books of fiqh, but if the government sees, like, if the government wants to punish someone for not wearing a seatbelt, they can punish a person for not wearing a seatbelt. If a government sees a person who is wearing certain type of clothing which they don't deem to be modest, then that person can be punished. Punishment is not going to be like, beaten up badly. It's going to be a punishment which is going to be relative to the crime. Is there any opinion in the Hanafi school or beyond that naming a mosque after individual is makruh? There are some, I've read some have said, but I don't think it's any of the main four madhabs opinions. It might be just like a fringe opinion. Yeah, but otherwise, the four madhabs, to my knowledge, would allow it. Did the Prophet ﷺ like dogs? I don't know. Please, can you briefly explain istighatha? For example, is it permissible to say Ya Rasulullah at times of need? So basically, um, this is a masala I've mentioned before as well. Basically, when it comes to asking dua, the Quran says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Only you we seek help from. So therefore, anything which is beyond the means of this world, we only ask Allah that. Are you allowed to ask another human being to make dua for you? Yes, you can. All right. This is the Prophet ﷺ. He asked him to make Sahaba to make dua for him, and Yusuf alayhi salam in the Quran's father. They asked Yusuf alayhi salam's father to make dua for their brothers. So that's allowed. However, let's say someone's passed away. Can you make dua for someone? Can you ask someone who's passed away to make dua? So that would require the question: can they hear you? Like, can some dead person, my grandfather's passed away, can he hear me or not? Or the Prophet ﷺ, can he hear us from here or not? So this is where there's nothing categorical in authentic narrations, categorically strong authentic ayats or narrations that say that the Prophet ﷺ makes dua for people in the grave. That's where the problem issue lies now, which is there are some people who say, well, if we go to his grave and give salam, he can hear us. So why can't we? And there are some narrations that are not like extremely authentic, categorical, that some people ask the Prophet ﷺ to make dua for them. But this is not something which is part of Aqidah, that's the point. So this is why I personally would say you stay away from this. Asking people who are passed away to make dua for you to Allah. So like, let's say, for example, you need marriage. You ask Allah directly. And then asking the Prophet ﷺ, this isn't something which is a very blurry kind of area, I would say. Why does Indo-Pak script have more pauses in verses compared to... this is just to make it easier for them because they're non-Arabs. Arabs know where to stop in a meaning. So the pauses in the Indo-Pak ones are because they don't know the meanings of it. Zainab Sheikh, if a woman is really struggling with the Hanafi ruling of not being allowed to recite Quran in period, she is hafidha and used to praying whilst cooking, moving, etc., and is in a food routine, what should she do? I mean, if she fears that she's going to forget her Quran, she fears that she's going to forget her Quran, then in that case, it's permissible, I would say, for her to take the Maliki opinion on this. But if it's not for any other reason, then she should avoid it. Yeah, because this was something the Prophet ﷺ mentioned to the Sahaba, his wives, and that's why we say this is considered to be something important for women to observe from the Hanafi point of view. But if you were to ask a Maliki scholar about this and they gave you a fatwa on this, you can follow it. I can't issue that answer to you. But if you were to ask a Maliki scholar on this and they were to answer this, then you can follow that. May Allah protect you from this. I mean, very good. Jazakallah khair. You're welcome. Is smoking cigarettes halal? If your doctor says to you, so if you ask your doctor and say, look, is smoking cigarettes good for my health? If they say no, then you can't smoke it. Okay, actually got some curious questions, haven't I? Okay, so Mukit, is it permissible to carry out a tax return if you are not self-employed? Please bear in mind you are only receiving the money you pay tax. So I don't understand exactly all the rules regarding tax returns. So what are you saying? Are you saying that you've given tax and now when you're asking for the tax return, are you asking that? Yeah, so as long as by law what you're doing is permissible, it's not breaking any laws and you're not cheating anyone, then asking for a tax return that you've already given them from in the past, I wouldn't see a problem with that. Okay, is silence during the khutbah mandatory according to Hanafis? Yes. Yeah, does it apply to women, anyone attending the Jummah? Yes. So on issues such as when should we get married, what the age gap should be, which caste we get married, doesn't Islam give us the freedom to exercise our own choice? Of course. Yes, definitely. Is it sunnah to wrestle in the masjid? So the Prophet ﷺ, from my understanding, never wrestled in the masjid. So if you mean, did the Prophet ﷺ wrestle in the masjid? No. Exposing more than a quarter of the aura in ihram necessitates dam. But what if you have to go to the toilet? Is this just an so exposing a quarter of the aura in ihram necessitates dam? If you can show me where that is, I'll look into it. If you can show me where that ruling is. Issues, are you talking from a Hanafi point of view? Issues, we can say that because of certain hadith, we should marry younger women. No, because a lot of these things generally to do with marriage and these kind of practices, they're all based upon social practice. So the social practice of the Arabs was of a certain nature, and the social practice of people in the Indo-Pak community is different, and the people, even within themselves, they have different types of cultures, and in the West as well. So all of that is just based upon urf. Okay, let's look at Curious Cat then. See what Curious Cat is mentioning. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. I did the question last week, but apologize, I worded it properly. Bilal makes an oath that every time they smoke a cigarette, they'll give £100 to charity. Bilal set up a general direct debit of £10 to a charity that goes out on the 15th of every month. If Bilal smokes a cigarette on the 14th of February, can he intend? Yes, he can. Salam. Yes, he can do that. Yeah, so as long as it's something which is to the future, he can do that. What is the Islamic view on breastfeeding? Would a woman be considered sinful if she leaves it out? No, she won't. It's permissible and recommended, but not necessary. Obligatory. Okay, next question. Please answer. Okay, let's over here. Okay, please answer on here. If I became a scholar, must I publicly state to my local community that I am now a scholar, or can I choose to keep it private? Salam. Yes, you can keep it private. So you don't have to tell everyone that you're a scholar. Just like if you become a doctor, you don't have to tell everyone you're a doctor. If someone at the age of 13 breaks an oath, does he give money or does he fast? He has no wealth. If he has reached puberty, then he can give money later in life, or simply fast 3 days. If someone makes an oath that is broken and wants to give the mandatory equivalent, can he give it to 10 people on different days, or does he have to? Yes, he can give it to 10 on different days. Okay. How to deal with being bored and depressed all the time, except when doing competitive, exciting things like sports? I'm not sure that I'm qualified to answer this question. These kind of depression questions, I think it's best to ask doctors and people who are psychiatrists, people who are specialized in this. But maybe I find having good group of friends that I can talk to helps. Yeah. So again, you guys asked me some of these questions. Unfortunately, I mean, I've studied 9 years Alimiya course, but the Alimiya course doesn't really kind of train you up into answering like that's obviously something specialized. You have to study psychiatry and or something of that nature. Okay, next. Hope you're doing well. I have a question. If someone doesn't have a lot of cash but has invested most of his money in business, property, gold, etc., would Hajj still be fard on him? Okay, so Hajj is necessary on a person who has a surplus wealth. Therefore, if a person has invested it in businesses, then he must look at if he is eligible to give zakat. If yes, then he will need to go Hajj. He has enough expenditure for the entire trip and enough for his family at home. Okay, do we have to mute the computer, TV, etc. while background music comes on? There's music in the background, so I would say no. You don't have to mute. You can mute it if you can. Otherwise, no, because this is not listening to. This is just in the background. You're not really intending to. Okay, I'm gonna go off Instagram. So Insta, everyone, take care. I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Insta people are gone. Saturday Q&A. Okay, next. What is the definition of a mujtahid mutlaq, and where were the 4 imams mujtahid mutlaqs? You can watch my series on history of madhabs and evil of fiqh. In a nutshell, mujtahid mutlaq is one who has been recognized in the scholarly community to possess the ability to understand the Islamic sciences at a very high level, and yes, they were all the four Imams were recognized as Mujtahid Mutlaqs. If one recites Quran with the aim that the reward is given to the dead, does that really help the one who died? Inshallah, why not? All reward helps people. Salam, can we use toothpaste with glycerine? The ingredient came from animals, came from animal plant, but it's not specified. Salam, yes. As long as you don't know, it's fine. So I'm in a bit of trouble to go to school. To get to school, I need to take the bus, and usually Fajr comes earlier than the bus time, so I can pray. But soon it will be Fajr time only comes after I have to get on the bus, so can't pray. I heard you can pray in a vehicle, but I'm not sure. Okay, so Salam, in that case, you can pray on the bus sitting in any direction. Yeah. So because that's a very unique case and it happens in the UK quite often. Okay. All right. Let's go back to these questions then. Which Qari do you recommend to listen to for tajweed or maqam? I don't know. I'm not a Qari, so maybe you can best ask someone who's a Qari. I like listen to Sheikh Husari. He sounds very, very nice and very slow. Why are all the prophets from Middle East? Or am I wrong? No, you're wrong. The ones that in the Quran, most of them are from that region, around that region. But that's because obviously Allah is speaking primarily to the recipients of the Arabs. Yeah, because they knew those areas very well. But otherwise, they are not from the Middle East. Because remember, there was according to some narrations, there's over 200,000 prophets that came to Earth. Is eating chocolate candy junk food haram since we know it? So if your doctor says to you eating too much of it is going to harm you, then yes. Otherwise, eating a little bit wouldn't be. Did the Sahaba ever wrestle inside the masjid? I don't know any authentic narration about that. Are there any narrations on the female positions in prayer, e.g., tawarruk or bring more close? Yes, there are. Where does this idea of Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba wrestling in the masjid come from nowadays? A lot of people wrestle. I don't know. I think there are some narrations that I don't know how strong they are. In Sirah books mention these kind of things. Do you listen to music when you walk or do something such as sitting? No, I don't. How much money must be paid for breaking each oath? So you have to basically feed 10 people. So you have to buy a food parcel for 10 people each. Allah, I got so many fasts to make up at least 25 individual fasts approximately. What is the easiest way to get rid of it? Do it in the winter now, the shortest days. Start now, shortest days, knock them all out. Muhammad Hussein, mashallah, kya hal hai mere bhai? I have lots of charity advertisements. They contain Arabic words and English Islamic words. How can I dispose of this? Can I just cut out? Yeah, you can burn it. Take it to your garden. Just burn it. It's fine. I broke the fast during Ramadan. Best thing to do is, I would say, is just get yourself a time and just make makeup. A priori وبكشف ربع العضو فأكثر يجب الدم. Okay, I'm gonna check that this what is mentioned about this. وبكشف ربع Okay, so وستر العورة فيه وبكشف ربع عضوه فأكثر كما في الصلاة. Uh, okay, let's see this. مكان الطواف. So this masla is talking about اوكي ولو بدأت بالتوافي للحجر الأسود والحلق والتقصير إن شاء الإحرام من القاعدة ومده وبعرفة إلى الغروب إن وقف نهارا ورمي الجمال لكل من الحج والطواف الصدر. قيل فرض والتيامن والمشي فيه لمن ليس له عذر يمنعه منه ولو نذر طوافا زحفا لزمه مشيا والطهارة فيه من نجاسة حكمية على المذهب. قيل والحقيقة من ثوب بدل مكان الطواف وأكثر على أنه سنة مؤكدة كما في الجنة والستر العورة وبكشف ربع العضو فأكثر كما في الصلاة. يجب الدم شفت الحكمية مكان الطواف. هذا النوع من الطهارة في الثوب والبدن سنة مؤكدة شر الباب وما في بعض كتب أن بدأ يقول وستر العورة فيه أي في الطواف وأده واجبا هنا مع أنه فرض مطلق لزوم الدم فيه كما أدى من سنن الخطبة في الجمعة بمعنى أنه لا يلزم بترك فساده وإلا فسنة تتباين الفرد أدى بترك مرتب وهذا ما ظهر لي وقدمناه الجماعة. قوله فأكثر أي من الروح فلا أقل لا يمنع ويجمع المتفرق وقوله كما في صلاته كما هو القدر المانع بس هذا قوله يجب إن لم يعده وإلا سقط هذا. Yeah, this is talking about tawaf. This is not talking about ihram itself. This is talking about tawaf. So in tawaf, if a person was basically to do 7 circuits and in those circuits they exposed their aura, like a man lifted up his trousers and his thigh became, or trousers, his ihram, his thigh became exposed, and he didn't repeat that again, he didn't go back to that section and repeat it, then his tawaf is technically not done, so therefore he has to give them. That's what it means. Okay, next can the answer is to give Jundullah, mashallah, my brother Jundullah, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. I'm very well, thank you very much, my brother. How are you enjoying the cold? Can I just pay and get rid of all my fasts? I won't miss any now. I just want to get rid of it. I don't mind paying $1,000. Yeah, so basically it doesn't work like that. What you can do is send me a whole email, exactly the whole situation, what happened, how did you break those fasts? And then in the week I'll try to get back to you. Salam, is believing in evolution in animals that aren't human haram? No, it's not. What's a little bit of crisp and chocolate? How much is a bit? So go to your doctor, Muhammad Hussein, and say to him, how much crisp will I eat when it becomes when it becomes lethal for me, that I'll basically die from it? Whatever he tells you is bad for you, then you can't eat that much. What do I do with the ashes when it burn them and they scatter into the air and the ground? What do I do with the ashes? You can just throw it in the bin. I remember someone saying it's like 60 or so. Yeah, like I said, send me an email because I need to ask you quite a few questions and they might be a bit personal as well. So it's best not to say these kind of things in public. How tall I am? 5 foot, almost 10, I think. 5'10". If someone is a dental professional and they have a friend who feeds the children a lot of sweets a lot of time and their teeth are rotting, would this? Allah knows best. Wa alaikum assalam, Abdul Razak. I hope you're well. I hope you have become mashfiyun. I hope you become mashfi. Thank you very much, Sheikh. You're welcome. You're welcome a priori. You're welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan. Okay, guys, I think I am going to finish it there. What are some of your long-term goals? Becoming a hafiz, inshallah. I made an intention before I die, I'm going to become a hafiz, inshallah. Because on the day of judgment, imagine you go on the Day of Judgment, and that one thing that you wished all these people are getting the status, you didn't get it. Hafiz reward. So inshallah, my intention is before I die, I'm going to become a Hafiz. What is your favorite hobby? My favorite hobby is lots of things: cycling, badminton, blah blah. What do you spend? Oh, these are like fuzzle questions. Waste of time. What are you interested in the most? People aren't. Do you like things that carefully planned, or do you prefer? Okay, what question would you like to ask? Traveler from 200 years. Okay, like fuzzle, waste of time questions. Okay, do you have any trips coming up? What is the biggest change you'd like to make in life? Have you got time? What is the biggest? Okay, like waste. Okay. Anyway, those aren't really relevant questions. Okay, so let's look at some of these. You're welcome. Not yet, Ustaz. Still recovering. Shafakallah. You weren't here today for the conference. If one has a najis item forgetfully left in the pocket and prayed, does the prayer need to be repeated? If he finds out that he did, then he'll have to repeat the salat. Inshallah. Ameen, Yusuf. Were you there for the talks today? Yes, I was there. I went. I was there for the second half. What was your struggle when you were your teenager? I mean, the sinful ones, or obviously I'm not going to mention the sinful ones. There were lots of struggles. Teenagers have lots of struggles. I mean, the usual kind of ones you have. What is your view on the Diunandis? The Diunandis, my brother. Who are the Diunandis? The guys that make naan? Book review. Do you mean Diobandis, Dr. Psycho? Are you asking us fitna question? Are you asking a question just to kind of catch me out what my opinion is about Diobandis and Brelvis? Is that what you're asking? Or is it a genuine, honest question? Fuzul question. Yeah, some people got time to ask like those. Should the dental professional advise their friends about one feeding us with no need to? No need to add it. Nearly got 100,000, inshallah, 100,000 subscribers coming up in March, inshallah. They're saying that in March. Everyone, nice. How were the talks with Ustad? MashaAllah, very good. I was very impressed. I didn't get the first two. I didn't get Ibrahim Baz and Idris's, but I got the rest. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah ta'ala, may Allah bless you. Ameen, ameen, Jazakallah khair, Jundullah. Okay, Dr. Psycho, I'm asking in terms of school, do you think they are deviant? No, not at all. I don't think Deobandis are deviants at all. Yeah, I do not think they are deviants at all. Have you heard any abuse in boarding schools? Abuse as in like beating, or you mean like sexual abuse, or what kind? What mosque are you at? I want to meet you one day. So mostly you find me at Sufa Institute. What was the prizes for getting the questions? I don't know. I think ask Mufti Islam. He knows. He knows the prizes. Ya Allah. Okay. Anyway, I think that's it then. Do you offer free Arabic classes? No, unfortunately, I don't. Okay, guys, take care, inshallah. I will see you guys next time, and have a wonderful week. This week, on the next week, I'll be off, so I won't be putting up the normal videos that I put up on a daily basis. I'll be putting maybe some other types of videos up, and maybe I'll do some, I don't know, some other things, inshallah. So have a nice, wonderful time, and oh yeah, I've got a talk coming up. Yeah, I've got a talk coming up, inshallah, on Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, inshallah, I'll be in Wednesbury, inshallah. I will be there. Actually, let me see if I can find the poster. Let me show you guys the poster. Where is the poster? This is the poster. Muslim and proud, inshallah. Inshallah. So I'll be delivering a talk there, Masjid Al Amin. This is going to be in Wednesbury. I'll put the details up on my social media, so you guys can check that out. Inshallah, it's going to be about the identity of a Muslim. Inshallah. Inshallah. Okay, guys, take care, inshallah. And like I said, have a wonderful one. Nice time. All right, guys, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.